Ladies and gentlemen, Big Harry News.
Hey, good Tefano. Welcome back to Big Hairy News, or Bright Hairy News, because it's Friday. Hi, Magenta.
Hey.
How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm pretty good. Had a pretty decent week.
Good.
So.
Good.
How
Good
about
to
you?
hear. It's been good. Been busy. I got 2
Yeah,
hours sleep last night.
saw your most recent podcast draw animations. Looking very
Yes, that has been taking
cool.
up quite a bit of my time. And I do have wedding stuff to do, so it's just all
Yes.
piled on at once. But hey, I'm very happy with Gary's podcast artwork.
Yeah, it looks good.
Hope I saw a few praises in the chat, so
I know
thank you.
Chewie was really loving it.
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad because it took a lot of work.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah, but no, I'm sure Gary will have a fantastic podcast for all of you coming
Oh,
in the next week or two.
absolutely. I can't wait.
Live stream my wedding? No, sorry. I love you guys, but you're not invited. Sorry.
Not like that. Not like that.
Not like that. Well, I hope everyone's had a wonderful week as well, and looking forward to a good weekend. I know we've got plenty of memories to send you off, as well as some a little bit of depressing stuff and a little bit of fun stuff. It's good with the bad. It's
It's
a bit here and
always.
there, but I mean that's the world we live in. We've had a few
hmm
wins in the political sphere, which has been fun. So we'll go through a bit of that. And yeah, sandwich the memes in. And if you're wondering, I am looking down because I can see Magenta's face. Beautiful, beautiful face. So I'm going to try and fix my screen.
Yes.
Technical difficulties again, as always,
As
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 it
we
is.
have to. Which,
So I'm going to get Magenta to do a little plug of the week, which of the month, which is our current drop, which is the buffer hoodie for, well, actually, no, it's a buffer hoodie for Women's Refuge, as well as another deal. Do you want to explain that, Magenta, while I fix my
yes.
technical difficulties?
Yeah, so obviously, as we all know, we've got the buffer hoodie, but we've also got the fuck around find out. If you order one of those, you will get a 5-pack of free stickers worth $22.50, and you'll also have a safe night donated to Women's Refuge, which is worth $20, which is $42.50 in extra things on top if you order the fuck around hoodie. And obviously, any hoodie or 2 t-shirts go towards money for a safe night for Women's Refuge, which it's been awesome to see how much everyone's been getting on board with that. I also can't wait for my purple hoodie. I'm excited to see purple hoodies walking around the streets of Wellington, hopefully. So yeah, if you want to get those freebies and get in on these deals, since we're only doing the Women's Refuge until the end of the month, which is tomorrow, you only have until tomorrow to get in, get your buffer gear, get your fuck around, find out. And unfortunately, if you're listening on audio or even on YouTube after the 31st, unfortunately, you will have missed out. But I'm sure there will be another fun deal that will come around. I'm also really loving the sticker packs that we've got. Like, I love the rainbow stickers, obviously. But I'm also loving the way that we've got quite a few now. The grassroots are so cool. Very fun, actually. I should get Pat to send me a pack of stickers so I can start putting more stickers around town. I put a sticker at a bus stop out in Kilburnie, and unfortunately, someone has taken it down. But if you go to the bus stop on Courtney Place, there is a BHN sticker that is still going. It's been there for quite some time, and I'm very happy about that. What do I see from Kiwi? Keep telling Pat to put the BHN channel on the back of them. You know what? That's a really good idea, Kiwi Skirt. Maybe we'll have to look at getting him to do something like that in the future.
That is a good idea. No luck, guys. I can't get the second screen going, so
Bugger.
it's all right. I'll keep working.
We ball.
On it. I'll
We
keep
ball.
working on it.
She'll be right. She'll be right.
We'll be working through it. These things happen.
Yes.
Life throws you lemons, you make lemonade. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh, and also we've obviously got to plug the Patreon.
Oh, as always. All right. Well,
be
you
a
do that.
patron.
Oh, wait, no, hang on. You're good as long as you don't show the special Patreon meetup.
Oh,
keep
I
it
don't think
secret
I can
for
see
them.
that because I'm not
That's
logged
good.
into Patreon.
Well, if you're not logged in,
so-
that's even better. There you go.
Yeah. I should actually find
All
our
right.
Patreon right now.
Attempt number 2. I'll be back.
While I look for I love how I'm just Googling our own Patreon, like so official.
I know.
right
I
now,
really
guys.
need to just bookmark it at this point. Eh? It would really.
Oh my
would
god,
help.
yeah, you're fucking right. Why have I not thought to do that so far? Oh my god, that's so
I really
bad.
should do the same. All right, BRB. You get a giant magenta face.
Ah! Sup, guys? Got me all in one screen. You can see my background a bit better actually. The Tamapapaw right here. Anywho, let's have a look at our Patreon. So if you would like to support us and what we do, obviously the Patreon is what helps Pat be able to figure out in advance what we can do, what kind of things we can plan for in the future. And it only costs, I believe, $5 is the cheapest tier that you can join. And it goes all the way up to I think it's $250 if you're an absolute baller. But obviously, if you're signing up to Patreon, don't sign up for something that you can't really afford to sustain. We'd rather have you for $5 for a whole year than just blow $50 or something like that. So yeah, come join us here. Obviously, we also have the Discord. I believe Kiwi Skirt will probably chuck a link in the chat. I also have posted the link to the Discord on my Blue Sky. I should pin that. I'll pin the post that has QR codes to all of the Patreon, the BHN shop, and the Discord, so everyone knows where to go, because there's a lot of things going on in the Discord and we have a lot of fun. Oh.
Technology. Sorry. Technology has come back to me.
Yeah.
And now it looks like I'm looking at you all.
Woo! It wanted us to
Yay!
do the Patreon read before it would allow you to.
Honestly,
Oh,
I
okay.
just
You
wanted
just got zoomed in all of a sudden.
Yeah, I did. Sorry, I also realized I hadn't set up my camera correctly. I'm having a Pat day, okay? Leave me alone. Like, if Pat can have his days, I get to have my days, okay? Oh.
Exactly. No, I think we did it at the same time.
Who's in charge? Who's in charge?
I saw someone complaining, so I was trying to put us back.
All right. Well, who's going to do it now? Because if I try and do it...
You do it. You do it. No, you
Okay.
go.
You go. No, you go. No, well,
No, you go.
So you go first. No, it's fine. You go. That was a wonderful... That's a better Patreon and BHA Mirror Shop plug than I've ever done. So you should just take over. I don't think
Hell
you
yeah.
need me anymore.
I'll be a plug boy.
Spread your wings. Let them fly. Okay, team. I'm gonna try and keep this a under 90-minute hour, which I think is still a reasonable,
Under
come
90
on,
minutes.
I'm just saying. I'm sure we can do it. Because I am incredibly sleep deprived, and at some point during the show, I'm going to start slurring. I promise you I'm not drunk. And probably just losing my train of thought. So, Magenta, have you got your foo ready to foo?
Oh, always. Always.
Because I'm just going to let your...
Yay.
it's just, Beyblades reference.
Oh yeah,
not
absolutely.
whatever.
No, yeah. I mean, it can go multiple ways,
But, I mean, whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do, bro. Whatever you want to do.
Why not both?
I'm slurring. Slurring my words, not throwing slurs at people, okay? Jeez, calm down. What? What? I don't know what this is reference to, but no.
Sorry, what one?
I've shifted to the right. Okay, sweet. Okay, there's a comment before that makes more sense. So my point being, we're just going to jump straight into our 3 stories for the night. First up is Chewie. Chris Hipkins
Yes.
was on Mata with Mihingarangi Forbes. I keep forgetting that nga in the middle of that.
Yeah, fair.
And I've been trying to improve. Also, side tangent. And did you do any linguistics during your time at uni there? Little bit. I have a theory, and I think it's a pretty strong theory. And I could, in fairness, ask my person who's like a double PhD linguist, because I'm sure he would probably say, yeah, you're right. My theory is, right? South Island, predominantly Eurocentric, colonial, very white. not a huge amount of culture, unless it's colonial culture.
Yeah.
Down this way, and it gets less and less and less Maori as you head down.
Oh yeah.
And our Scottish roots have led us to some very thick R's. Although someone did say that I was hiding my R's and it's not as bad as it used to be. And I was like, oh no. And then I started paying attention to it and I'm like, oh no, I have lost my R's.
Oh,
That's
no,
my
you're
signature
not
move.
pirate. You're not pirate
I know,
anymore.
I've got the bloody Christchurch and I fucking hate that. Church. Christchurch. Not my dig. But I worked out. This is my theory. You can probably tell me I'm right or wrong. I'm pretty solid on this theory. Okay, I think I'm right. Because I was listening to Debbie and Rawiri on BHN earlier this week, which I highly recommend you go and check out. That I think it's clipped and it's also the entire episode. Basically.
I mean, yeah, it's the whole episode. So just go watch the whole
episode.
thing. It's worth it.
It's so good. I was watching them and was reminded of something that I thought of a couple of weeks ago, which is that the accents are different. There's a Maori accent, right? Especially for those who are like bilingual, that's kind of their first language, and English is somewhat the second. Like they're more comfortable with Maori.
Yeah.
There is this particular accent that both Debbie specifically has probably a stronger of the two, and it's the vowel accents because that are prominent. And in English, we have, I think my partner called it diphthongs, where our vowels are, yes, but it's slightly different. So the Maori vowels are closer to, like the basic vowls, a, e, or u, which is what I remember it as, a, e. That's the Japanese, but they're the same. Yeah, they're the same. But in English, it's a, e, I, O, U, which is kind of like that's the diphthong thing. So what I've worked out is that the Kiwi accent further up north is influenced by Maori.
Oh yeah.
And the reason that I get tripped up because I'm from Southland is because I'm not used to speaking those two, so my accent has it's just that little bit different. So when switching, because I was listening to Debbie, when she switches between Te Reo and English, it's super easy because she's kind of using the same sounds with her mouth and her vowels. Whereas when I try and speak, which is why the other day I said marry, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Where did that come? Because I was switching between the two languages, and because of the way I speak English.
Natural to flick between.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and that's the thing is also they analyze it. So I did look into some of the research. They basically analyze recordings that they had of basically some Maori men who were, I guess, the last kind of pre-colonization sounding, like they had the original, I guess, accent, and then they compared it against, I think it was like maybe the early 1900s And they noticed that there was definitely shifts in a lot of the letters, and they found that was like English was influenced by Maori, and Maori was like, because we're just around each other, so we do like my accent. Obviously, my accent changes just partially due to my echolalia, but obviously once I started learning more te reo, my accent kind of went back to what it used to be when I was a kid. Because like I've seen people in like there's been comments on some of our videos that like say that I laugh like a hoary, which is like racist, but it is kind of funny and true. So, you know.
Can you explain that?
I mean, hoary is just kind of a word that's often been used to kind of just look down upon a lot of Maori, saying that, you know, well, they sound like that, so therefore here are these other negative traits that you will now associate with so-called hoaries. And it's also just another way to, you know, separate people, make them fight about certain things. You also then kind of created this whole thing where like you have some Maori who grew up calling other Maori plastic Maoris because they weren't immersed in their culture. It's like a whole fucking layer of bullshit. But yeah, there's a lot of research around all that stuff.
Internal racism, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Internalized racism a little bit? Yeah, because if you...
Well, yeah.
No, is it?
Well, it's a mix of a bunch of different things. You've got internalized racism, you've got like colonization things, aspects, you've got also religious aspects come into a lot of these things as well, how they've changed things. Like it's a lot of complicated stuff that's, you know, you can't really like detach fully from a bunch of other things. And it depends regionally where you're from. And like, again, you know, Maori aren't a monolith. They had their different separate groups of Maori, and, you know, now we're just, some of us like me are really diluted.
Yeah, white. What is it? Well, this is probably going to sound really offensive. Is it white cast? No, half cast. That's the word.
Oh yeah, half cast was what I got called as a kid. Yeah, half cast, dirty ass, good old classic.
Oh,
but
Jesus.
To be fair, I always said that I was a Nutella sandwich. White on the outside,
that's
brown on the
beautiful.
inside.
That's poetic,
right? And also Nutella sandwich. Fuck yeah, I love chocolate.
I'm brown on the inside.
Right? Exactly. Oh my god, someone just said muggles. Hell yeah, that's great. I love that.
Jesus. Might as well just call us Mongols.
Right.
So that was my fun little theory deep dive, and I'm glad that you were able to validate me because
I got a degree,
now,
so I'm certified, y'all.
You're allowed to. You're allowed to. No, I'm glad. I big brained that one, and I felt very smart, and I thought I would share it with you all confirm that I can say Maori correctly. It was just because I was switching between the two.
Yeah, code switching through different languages.
Hard work, okay. Okay. It's not that big of a deal. I did, which is kind of a funny moment where
I was
saying
your mouth correctly, just kind of and then, falls over
and then
itself.
I just got tripped. And I was like, Mary. I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? Inappropriate, Emily.
So funny.
But yeah, there you go. Fun fact of the week. Do you want to know another fun fact?
Yes, I love fun facts.
It is likely that the Labour budget will not come out until the Labour budget, the alternative budget, will not come out till Nicola Willis's third budget, 2026.
Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of strange. So this, the episode with on Mata with Chris Hipkins was really interesting. I didn't actually get through the full thing, I'll be honest, because I got tripped over at this particular part, which Chippy basically says, Mihingarangi asks, well, I'll play it, whether or not he will commit to, or the party will commit to reversing some of the stuff that, in funding the stuff that Nats have defunded. And I'll play this a little bit and then I'll briefly go through some thoughts that I had that I ranted about on Blue Sky. Some of you may have seen it. Some of you agreed with it. And some of you are like, finally, she's coming to the dark side. No, that's not the right word. The good side. All right, let's see how loud this is. Hopefully it's not too bad.
Return to power, would you commit to reversing that 750 million of targeted funding?
We've said that we'll set out our alternative budget and our policy priorities before the election. One of the reasons it's hard to do that right now is the government's still got a whole nother budget to go. So we haven't yet got to the bottom of what they've cut in this year's budget, and they've still got another one to go. And so we've got to make sure that what we promise next time around, we've worked through the detail of it. We know that we can afford to do it. We know how much it will cost and so on. And costs can change between now and the next election as well. So
Okay. Lots to unpack there, guys. Okay. Dumb move, personally. I think waiting to the next budget is a very dumb move.
Not
And
only
this
is it
goes
dumb,
back-
it's weak.
Yes. Two, I get it from like we don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. Because that's what the National Party did to get votes, right? They said we're going to give cancer drugs, we're going to give you hospitals. Dean Hospital will get the $3 billion. We're going to fund it more than Labor had. Blah blah blah.
Squeeze
They made all these
middle,
promises.
get a bunch of money back. You like a bunch of money. Each
Yeah,
week.
working for
Bullshit.
families. Yeah, you'll be better off under us. All this sort of bullshit. But so I kind of get that for not. They want to see as close as they can to like before they promise or put out their alternative budget. But this is kind of going back to what I was saying a couple of weeks ago. They don't need a perfect budget. Like perfect is the enemy of good. You know, done is better than perfect. There's no perfect budget that they can put out. But they can put out a vision and they can put out promises. They kind of are already, where they're saying, you know, it's going to be jobs, homes, health, jobs, whatever it was, education. I don't know. They had three things that they were like, these are our three things. But they don't need to wait till the next budget to see that the books are fucked or where the situation is for the country to make those promises, because it's like what's her face? I need Pat's little soundboard, right? If we need the money, we'll find the money. Good old Judith Collins.
yes.
Says the same thing of like, well, if the money needs to be, we'll find the money because the money needs to be found. Like, we'll spend the money because we need to. Housing, jobs, and health. Thank you. Someone's just put it. So Labor don't need to wait to, like, I get what he's saying here. He's saying we can't commit to reversing that specifically or funding that 750 million or whatever. Because you don't want to be like, yeah, we'll do exactly the same, and then go, actually, there might be a better way to do this. But at the same time, if you need to put $3 billion into a hospital, commit to putting $3 billion into a hospital. Like, you know you're going to have to spend that. You're in government 3 years ago at that point, when the election comes around. You know what it's going to cost. You costed it yourself. It's going to probably cost more. But even if you say, well, the government's only putting $1 billion towards it, it needs at least $3 billion, just say we're going to put $3 billion towards it. There's no harm but if that's not your strategy, it kind of goes like, well, are you going to commit or not? And this is where I've started to see that he just doesn't have, he's not pushing the vision. And that's why I like the Greens. The Greens said, like, we've costed it out. We're going to invest in this. It's going to take $30 billion for this. We're going to invest this. We're going to tax this in order to find the revenue. Those numbers won't be perfect, sure. But there was an energy and there's this like, yes, we need to invest. We know what needs to be done. If we were in government and we had power in this space and influence in the space, I guess, this is what we would do. And it's so good. I don't understand why Labor can't just, like, Chippy's just not giving it to me. You know?
It's weak as fuck, to be honest. I mean,
It does.
What I don't get is, obviously, Chippy's been on the show before, and I remember when he came on and Pat was talking to him, and Pat was saying, you know, like, you guys need to be starting your election campaigning, ramping up now. And he agreed. He said that there was stuff coming in the wings. What the fuck is this? Like, I don't think, like, to be honest, you'll see some of the commentary that's going to be in our meme PDF tonight is around all of this. And, like, I think what's frustrating is not only is he just being, honestly, as weak and spineless as Luxon kind of at this point, letting the two minor, you know, opposition parties do all the fucking hard work. That's not to say there aren't people in Labor who are also doing good mahi, like, you know, Kieran and Barbara, like, we love them. But I also saw some conversations that were happening in, I think it was on the Discord or the chat, I can't quite remember. But someone was, you know, talking about the fact that Chippy is more of a peacetime prime minister, and we need a wartime prime minister. We need someone that actually makes people feel like not only is there a vision, but that it's actually going to be able to be executed. Because especially like with New Zealanders, like unless we really trust that something's going to be the more likely thing, we can be quite apprehensive. And like they've even like I remember in some of my like psychology studies and stuff, like they talked about leadership styles and control, and then like how certain types basically suit different eras of what's going on. Like when you've got times of prosperity and that you don't need a wartime kind of type of person. You need someone who's going to be able to make the people feel like, oh, yep, we're going to build up, say, our communities, our social housing and all those types of things. But then when you've got the scarcity, it's people like, we need someone more like Kieran or Barbara, like someone who's got the bite to actually just be brave, be bold, because at this point, I think riding the line is kind of just giving stuff away to the other side, because at this point, we're watching them. Like, if this RSB somehow gets through, and there is a fucking chance it can, they will have absolutely decimated the constitutional framework of this country. Like, that's not little shit. That's not like, oh, here's this policy that might hurt a few people. This is a policy that, unless reversed, will have so much damage on pretty much everywhere in every sector of life. Like, it is not really a time where we can be like, oh yeah, it's fine, let's just keep letting capitalism completely fuck us over while we're all struggling. Like, we've all seen the price of a block of butter at the moment. Like, toffee pops are $5 fucking 50 a packet. They're not that good. Like, to me, this is the signs of almost how bad things are as well. Like, what the fuck? Oh, like, trying to do shopping budgets every week, like, especially because, unemployed. I can manage to stretch a budget, like, with some magic, but it's fucking hard. And I have to put it, like, a lot of effort, often having to go to multiple stores in different, like, parts of Wellington to even just get the basics. And it's just insane that, like, he thinks that this is going to be enough. Like, I don't think it's acceptable to say, oh, we're not ready, we're just going to wait. It's like, I think some people are like, oh, they're worried that National might steal some of their ideas. So fucking what? If stealing some of your ideas from your campaign is enough to make those people not want to vote for you anymore, they probably were pretty weak on you to begin with. So, like, we actually need transformative change, like Auntie Debbie was talking about. Like, it is bullshit that we have 3 members of Te Pāti Māori suspended the way that they are going to be suspended, even though they're fucking edging us and jerking us around with that bullshit too. Like, it is, like, it's actually shameful what they're doing and the way they're basically walking all over Te Tiriti and Maori, and not just Maori, fucking most minorities, especially disabled people at the moment. Like, it is just unacceptable. And he just needs to either nut the fuck up or hand over the reins to someone who can actually, like, lead transformative change, because to not have a budget right now is just unacceptable. Like, if you're gearing up for your elections, where is it? You're not really doing a lot in terms, like, yeah, their meme pages, love them, they're great, but in terms of a lot of the messaging that they're getting out, like, other than, I guess, individual MPs in Labour where I see them really pushing, like, oh, I've just blanked on his name, we had him on from Christchurch, Duncan, yeah, like, I see him doing a lot of good work in terms of, like, really pushing stuff on his social medias. Kieran and Barbara, they're really good as well. I think there's a couple others, their names are escaping me right now. But Chippy's just absolutely getting reamed. And I mean, it's not good for Labour. And I mean, if they don't roll him, like,
Well, that's the thing, is that it like, okay, there's lots of comments here, and like, I I was getting accosted by the chat a few months ago because I was saying, no, it's like he's going for the centre, he's going to try and get the swing voters, like his job is to try and, get people over, like it won't be that hard, keep fucking up. But, and we'll talk about this later because there's kind of another video that kind of comes back around, and like what you're saying about like people just kind of zone out and get a bit frustrated, and we're a different system. But anyways, we'll get to that when we get to that. Melbourne Kiwi, love you. Yes, kind of. It's hard. I do feel like when I had the stance of like we need to show a united front, and by shitting on Labour, those people who are swingers, they're not gonna vote for Labour because they go, well, I mean, not even the lefties like Labour, and they just see Labour as the left party. They don't see them as that centre left anymore. They just go, oh, they're so progressive, capital gains tax, fucking Jacinda, blah, blah, blah. Social progressive, blah, 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 social public.
I mean, I would agree with that if Chippy wasn't constantly shitting on the Greens and Te Pāti Māori and everything he's doing. Like,
yeah.
I would be totally like, yeah, let's try to. And that's the thing is, we've seen the Greens and Te Pāti Māori take the high road and not end up, basically taking bullshit for no fucking reason that's not going to help anyone. Like, yeah, I'm going to give him shit because I'm sorry, but not only did he fail us at the last election because he wasn't like strong enough and he didn't really push some of the things like capital fucking gains tax. Like, that's what lost him. Like, being weak is kind of what lost it for him last time, and it's definitely going to fucking lose it for him this time. And I don't want Labour to lose. I want them to be able to win because I want there to be a Labour, Greens, TPM coalition. That is my ideal government. But I don't know what the fuck he's up to. He's giving so many mixed messages. 1 minute he's coming on here and saying all these great things, and we're like, that's awesome, that's great. But then with the way
you see
he's
fire in him.
Yeah,
you see a
and
little bit more fire and gusto to him. And even though he's kind of that even-keeled, chatty, casual, but he still has that kind of fire to him. It's almost like I kind of get it, but he tailors himself to the audience. He's a different guy on Breakfast than he is when he comes onto the show. And I understand that a little bit, but his consistency is the issue. He'll come on here and he says, yeah, we totally we work really well with the, I don't know if it's him, but the Greens, and we work with Te Pāti Māori. Like, we do cross and talk to the parties, and we're kind of like, in conversation with each other, and we're all kind of on the same page. And then he goes on something like Breakfast or he does a stand-up, and then he says, Tamitha Paul's an idiot for trying to defund the police, when that's not what she said. But like, and that's an easy one that he could have. And then he goes to, the Greens budget that's unrealistic or whatever it was that he said. And it's like, you didn't need to say that.
Yeah.
You just needed to say,
I've seen it.
It's really interesting. There's some really good policies in there. We would probably do some things differently. That's all you need to say. And that is supporting the left. That is supporting your side of the aisle.
Exactly. Yeah. There was no need to
there was ways
say.
Yeah, and like, he can say that the Te Pāti Māori's suspension was bullshit. Yes, that's great. But on the other hand, he's also saying stuff that undermine Te Pāti Māori. This thing of like saying things like performative with the haka. That's the shit that's starting to get annoying. Is like, just pick your line, pick your party's line, and be bold in that and run with it, because you are the centre party. You are the centre left party. You're going to get a lot of votes, but like, just like, get us all excited about it. Why is that such a hard thing to do? Maybe it's just him. Maybe he's just not an excitable kind of person. I don't know.
Well, like, that's the thing is, he does have plenty of fire in him. The problem is it flickers. And the times that it flickers, it sends mixed messages. Like someone here saying, like, it's smart to craft different messages. And I agree. If those were actually delivered in ways that doesn't actually contradict or kind of basically show that you're kind of being a bit two-faced. Some of these things are making him look two-faced and making him look like he's saying one thing to the lefties, but then he's basically trying to be a secret, like, fucking little righty under there. Like, it's the mixed messages. You can definitely appeal to different audiences, and I think they should do so much more work on diversifying how they appeal to audiences. Like, I mean, we saw the Greens in Australia. OnlyFans, Grindr. Labour, I'm just saying, Kieran's hot as fuck, you know.
You would hate
He doesn't even have to get naked.
He would
He doesn't even
hate
have to get naked.
He would.
But
his
even if it
reaction
wasn't
last
that,
Christmas
they
was enough
just-
to be like, "I'm so sorry, mate."
You know what? I don't apologize. But I mean, the thing is, even if it wasn't something silly like that, there are so many things that they could be doing to appeal to wider audiences. I just think it makes him look bad, and it doesn't look good to quite a few people.
And I think the risk here is like what you were saying about rolling him. If he doesn't stand that position, he looks rollable, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's been a while to get this idea that actually Luxon's going to get rolled. I cannot see him standing next election. But with Chippy
There's
being
no
like,
spine for him to stand with. That's why.
Jellyfish man. If Labour, if Chris and Labour have said, yep, Chris is the right person to lead Chippy, Chris Hipkins, is the right person to lead this party. We back him, he's the right person, he's ready to go. He hasn't shown that yet, that he is the right person and he's ready to go. Like, I'm still seeing the same Chris from 12 months ago or more. And
Yeah.
if he gets rolled in 6 months' time because his polling, in a year's time, because his polling is just not good, that shows a weak Labour, in my opinion. That shows a Labour that this front benchers and the main people that put him in that position didn't read the room, didn't read him correctly, and they lost confidence in him. That's a 6-month window then, or less, 3-month window, a 3-week window, God, who knows, to catch up in the polls. Like, Jacinda Ardern did it, but she had energy and fire when she came in. That was my first time voting, and it's like I didn't vote in the previous one because I was like, nah. But then I saw Hillary and Trump, and then what happened there, and then Jacinda came through, and I was like, fuck, hell yeah, I'm in. Like, she's great, she's young, she's fiery. That's what I want, and that is what I need from Chris. Is that he'll go, shit, actually, the left, there's some good stuff there. I don't love the Greens at Te Pāti Māori. They're too progressive for me. But this guy leading Labour, because people may just go, Labour are centre left, that's more me, and they'll just vote Labour. They're not going to, if they don't gel with Te Pāti Māori and the Greens, they go, well then, but I'm also kind of not, I'm not vibing with Labour. But if they come in with fire, it's like, oh shit, yeah. I'm in. Because there are misconceptions about Te Pāti Māori and Greens that are pervasive, and we know that, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I would love to see him actually take charge and be the Chippy that we hope to see, you know. I'm not against Chippy. I actually would love for him to be doing better than this. But I mean, when we've even I know even in our chat, in our Discord, there's been a lot of people talking about how they want Kieran to replace him even before this stuff. This has been going on pretty much since the current coalition took over. This isn't something new. So it's like, you clearly aren't doing something right if this has been going on for quite some time and people aren't feeling like you're, doing a decent enough job, or you're just being weirdly flaky or two-faced. It's just disappointing.
But the reason that because I was saying, I love Kieran, I think he'd do great. I think he'd be great as the leader. I stopped that as soon as they said, no, Chippy's the one we're going to go with, because I was like, well, that only undermines Labour, and I don't want to shit on them because, I do like you say, I do like Chippy, and I do like it's this position that he's in and the things he's taking. But then I was like, okay, cool. Kieran says he's going to stop. He's not going to take the role. He said, no, stop the conversations. We're not doing it. So I'm like, cool. All right, let's back Chippy. Let's get him, get him fired up. Let's But then I'm like, I kind of want Kieran. I want Barbara. I want Kieran. I want
Barbara. I want Barbara.
Barbara
I
would be
reckon she
amazing.
would be so good, because every time I hear her, when she's speaking, whether it be at question time or whatever she's speaking on, she just always has strong evidence, facts. She's across problems. She's also a real human being that just gets it. And I mean, Kieran said, he just doesn't want to, and I respect that. That's not what he wants. And I mean, if he changes his mind in the future, that would be cool as fuck. I would love that. But I reckon Barb would be so good.
Yeah. So that's my picture. That's as far as I got in the interview, because then I went on my rant on Blue Sky, and that was pretty much saying that, where I'm like, shit, I'm falling to the other side, guys. I kind of get why you keep shitting on Chippy. Yeah, there's still time. Someone said that we're like mixing up policy with budget, but
Oh no, that was early. I think there was, yeah.
yeah, it was. But like, regardless, just commit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we would fund that. How much? We're not sure yet, but we clearly know that it needs to be funded at least this much.
Yeah,
so yes,
yeah.
we most likely will fund it. If not, we'll fund something similar that will have the same benefits, right? How hard is that to say?
Yeah, it's you can just basically put down what values you're putting behind, and the exact specific costings can take longer. They can come a bit later. I mean, it just like when we've had such a strong budget from the Greens, it just feels like as the so-called, leading left party, that like it just feels weak again. Just feels weak.
Yeah. And like they could have easily said, Greens have some great ideas. We love this. We're like totally behind the vision that they want, like the investment strategy that they want. We would just probably take, a slightly different approach, but like we look forward to working with them. Let's be honest, they're going to have to work with them. Like,
Yeah,
that's what they needed to say. That's all they needed to say. You didn't need to shit on them.
exactly, because that's actually the other part of it too, that like it's more about giving people time to talk about it. Like we've been talking about the Greens budget a lot. It's a topic of conversation. And we've talked before about the fact that familiarity often means that people from a psychological perspective view something more positively. So the longer it is in front of people, the more that they can look at it, talk about it, even if it's to, make jokes, shit on it. Sometimes, bad publicity's, doesn't matter. It's good for you. But like having it in front of people so that we can kind of see, and even if they were like, oh, we're not ready to give all of it, but here's like a little bit of a taster, give us something. And be like, this is kind of like something to look forward to hold on to. Because when we're having week after week, just be bad news, bad news, bad news, people need hope. People need something to cling on to. And having Labour show some of those values that they will put in and put money behind would be really, really good for the people.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's where I'm at with Labour. Thankfully, we do have a MMP system, so if you're not vibing with Labour, you can always vibe with the other two parties. But we do, like, it's a numbers game, right? We do risk that instead of voting for your local Labour MP, which, it's probably, in my opinion, if your Labour MP is strong, or you've got Nats and your Labour MP are pretty even, I wouldn't vote for the Green one, because you're basically giving it to the National. Like, it's a numbers game sometimes. You have to play that awkward game. Unless you're just like, nah, fuck that guy. That guy sucked. And sometimes, like Chloe, Greens steamroll and get the seat. Like, it is possible, but like, sometimes you kind of want to play the numbers game. But when it comes to the party vote, like, a vote for the Greens is a vote for Labour. It just gives the Greens more power in that regard. So we are in a different system to America's, two-party system. But it like if they don't get people excited to vote, there is a very good chance that there's a bunch of people that won't vote. They won't even vote for the progressive lefties, and ACT and National and New Zealand First can do it again. Especially with the David Seymour effect. The ACT Party is gaining, and they're gaining a lot of national voters. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty confident that's happening.
I'm sure it will be.
So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that are just frustrating, but I mean, I would just like to see more unity amongst the three, Okay, no, I'm going to be fucking straightforward. I want to see Labour actually seem like they're in that kind of group, because Greens and TPM, we've seen them working together. Like, we see them and they have a strong presence, especially in terms on a community level. I mean, even when we think back to the Hikoi at Parliament, that morning, Hannah was one of the Hikoi runners, and then came, and was flying in between, and then ripped the bill. The same day she ripped the bill, she was doing the Hikoi earlier that morning. Like, they're on the ground. And like, one other thing I realized, there's only 6 TPM members, and they do a lot of fucking work with 6 people. So what the fuck are the other ones doing? They got so many more people.
Yep. So let's keep our optimism. I'm going to ruin your optimism with the next story, but let's keep our optimism.
Well, okay, do we want to take a break into optimism, because I've noticed that people have noticed something different in the chat, so maybe we could quickly let them know.
And then we'll go run through some of the super chats, and then we'll go to memes.
Sounds good.
Hey,
to
look, quarter to 10 already. We're doing well,
right?
Guys.
So, as some of you may have noticed, Kiwi Skirt popped in the chat, just letting everyone know that I will be dropping off the show soon. I let Pat and Magenta know I will not be staying through the show anymore on Fridays. Too old and tired by this time. And obviously, when Kiwi sent me a message, I was like, abso-fucking-lutely, man. Like, you do so much for us. You don't need to stay up with us, especially with our bullshit. And obviously, she said good night. She will be around. She'll come and hang out in the chat. But we do have a new moderator now. As some of you have noticed in the chat, we got my flatmate. So this is my flatmate, who you've seen memes from. They've been contributing to the show a little bit recently. And since they hang out and watch us on a Friday, they are here to keep an eye on people and obviously zap anyone who needs zapping. So shout out to our new Friday moderator.
Yay, we love friends of the show. I'm sure there'll be a few people that are that we can vet.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Absolutely. It's always good to have more people, so people can we don't want to overload anyone and have them burn out. So
yeah. Huge shout out to Kiwi Skirt, because she does amazing stuff for us, and like
so much.
Yeah, amazing. So I go and enjoy your Friday. Enjoy.
It's all right. I get to hang out with her in person sometimes, so I'm good.
Fine. I'm sorry. Do you want to run us through the first lot of memes then?
Yeah, sure. Let's. What do we got? Oh yeah. Before capitalism can exploit criminals, it must first create them. We're getting really radical in our memes. Capitalism needs a logo. It's a huge myth that communism has a hammer and sickle, which actually goes hard, and capitalism has nothing. So this is the proposed. It's giving Bitcoin, Heil Bitcoin, Heil Bitcoin.
Nazi, jeez.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's very Elon Musk coded.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Little things you can do to save the environment. Bike to work, try meatless Mondays, guillotine the corrupt corporate class that is poisoning the planet for profit, and recycle. Why is my thing not playing? There we go. When I use a word, Humpty Dumpty said in a rather scornful tone, it means just what I choose it to mean, neither more nor less. Which gives me a bit of Luxon. And then I love this one. Oh, this is such a good one. I didn't steal your meme. I discovered it. The doctrine of discovery is a fucking lie and is absolutely bullshit. And if you don't know much about it, I highly recommend you go and look. I know Margaret Mutu's got some work around this stuff. It's very interesting. Jordan Rivers actually posted this one. You may have been made redundant because of these two, but you'll never be as redundant as Luxon's hairnet. Which is, yeah, kind of didn't click at first, but really is very redundant. So I bought a limited item in high demand. I sold it for a much higher price without ever using or modifying it. I'm a scalper investor. Yeah, I thought you guys would like that one. Also, since I haven't actually watched Andor, but I've heard Chewie keep saying I'm gonna watch it. I keep hearing Chewie talk about it, but this was quite funny to see that. Yeah, the McLaren Tech Center looks exactly like some of the scene in Star Wars.
So wait,
Under
hang on.
capitalism.
Go
Oh, you
back.
got it? Yeah.
Go back. Go back. Go back.
Bet.
Huh.
Yeah. Right.
Yes. Yes.
So the same.
A little too familiar.
Right. I wonder if they modeled it off that or something crazy. I mean, who knows? They could have.
Could've.
Under capitalism, it's normal to let children go hungry, let banks force out people from their homes, let sick people die for lack of access to healthcare. But the idea that billionaires could just be less rich, not poor, not struggling, just less rich, is considered insane. And that's why I'm getting really radical. Fucking capital gains tax, Chippy.
When you're ready, anytime. Anytime.
Giving poor people some money makes crime go down better than giving cops more money. Says science. We did the science. We keep doing the science, and nobody in suit ever cares. Which is very frustrating. And one more. The world is circling the drain, and y'all are worried about the fucking feelings of those responsible. So that's where we shall leave it.
Weirdly fitting that hat.
Mm-hmm.
Weirdly fitting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to run through some of these super chats and we'll get back to the rest of them. And then I'll show you our next story, which kind of fits in with our last one. But don't read into that too much. It's not really...
Okay. All right.
We'll get there. Gary Burb said for $2. Day 2 of asking Louise to a charity fight. Oh, Louise Upston, I assume? Which... I don't know why. Was it just for funsies? I don't know.
Oh, because she's fucking with us beneficiaries. I'm assuming that's why.
Okay, if that's it. I mean, there's plenty of reasons to ask any of
More
them.
shit, more fucking with beneficiary bullshit.
Danger Mouse
Dash.
says, for fuck's sake, late fee. Danger of Mouse again for $2 says, Em's just had that Scottish selfie thang. Scottish selfie thang. Jeez, that's hard to see. Kiwi Burb, shout out to Team Halfcast.
Ayo.
We're not bringing back Halfcast.
No, we're not bringing it back.
You're welcome to.
Nah,
you're welcome to
honestly.
reappropriate it if you would like, but that's not my
if someone
call.
wants to, they can. But nah, fuck that shit. It is just funny to reminisce about being, called slurs.
Tane, who is awesome, by the way. Met them in person. Met them twice, actually.
Hell yeah.
Them at work, too. That was cool. Cool dude. Yes, I have got tickets to that. Yes, I think I should be able to make it. I think it's on the other side of town, so I have to do like a... But I'm pretty sure I can make it to that. Andrew K. Absolutely agree. Magenta spitting fire. Spitting fire. Right, I'll leave the rest for later. But thanks, guys, for your super chats. Always appreciate it. Oh, did you already? Oh no, did I unstar?
No, I think
no. We haven't accidentally unstarred anything.
If it ends up being near the end and someone's got missed, they can always let us know and we'll try to find it. I think I can find a way to quickly find them, so it should be fine. But I did actually just put this in here because Christchurch does have culture. Y'all have a wizard. Or at least you had a wizard.
You had a wizard. He's still alive, just no longer recognized as the wizard.
Yeah. He's no longer employed as the town wizard.
Yeah, employed. Poor guy. I didn't even realize he was.
Yeah.
Right, team. Weird segue. Okay. There's a video that I saw, which was fascinating on so many levels. There's I want to say ex-employed for a company journalist. I'm not sure what she used to be. Taylor Lorenz. Now she's gone independent because she got kicked off after she got fired for saying something, and also kicked off Twitter because she criticized Musk a couple of years ago. She put out a really interesting video, and I need to just premise this because it's also related to the Chippy interview. It's called "Somebody Needs to Do It," and it's about a meme that has been going around where it's kind of like plausible deniability about what they're talking about. But I'm sure you can understand it's coming from America, and it's just people being like, one of them was like, what's something you'd really want to happen in 2025? And it's just this guy being like, which is basically insinuating someone needs to do it, as in, get the guillotine out for someone who's currently running the country. And she did a really, really awesome analysis as to how we got into this position, meme culture, why that's important, class consciousness, and things like that. Now, the somebody needs to do it. I'm not saying that to Chippy at all, but there is some stuff in this which is talking about the disillusionment and why people have gotten to the point where they're just like, political violence is not okay, especially on the left, right? Very much like that is not the way to do it. You do it with democracy, you do it with voting. There's a ethical way to do it. But this sentiment is rampant on sort of both sides a little bit, but definitely showing more on the left, which is kind of like, whoa, like the left had gone in a different direction. And I think that's why you and I had a very similar thing to the Mangione thing of like, somebody needed to do it. Like, can you really blame them for, it's like, yeah, we don't agree with it. It's morally incorrect, but
murder's bad, okay. But
yeah, like,
also,
but that's why it's the somebody needs to do it. It's like I'm not, but if someone is willing to, like, yeah. So the video is really, really interesting, and it kind of talks about how people have gotten to this point. I'm pretty sure this is going to demonetize us, but I think it's really important that we do actually.
I'm sure.
Sorry,
It's fine.
I'm sure she's good to us, and like we're having proper discussion about it. But I think it's really important that we do go through it, because I think there's some sentiments in here that are interesting, but also kind of reflect on the last 2 or 3 years with, post-COVID stuff. 5 years? Shit, that was 2019. Damn, we fucked.
And it don't stop coming, and it don't stop coming, and it don't stop coming.
God, my throat is killing me. I can't remember. I haven't put what this clip is about, but I'm sure it'll come pretty close. Pretty quickly figure out what this is talking about. I didn't write up my notes. I just took the timestamp down. So whatever it's about, I'm sure it's good.
On police and prisons than on schools and housing. 2020 marked a turning point, a realization that the world as it wasn't working for most people, and that another, better world was possible, one where people are valued more than profits. Millions of people began to see clearly what had been hidden in plain sight for decades. Of course, not everyone embraced this moment. The backlash was real and predictable. The term woke was treated like a slur in some circles and a way to dismiss the very real empathy and awareness that defined this era. But the pushback only confirmed that a major power shift was underway. People were finally beginning to seek systemic change, but then the boot came down hard. Biden was elected that fall and began working overtime to dismantle the social safety net that had expanded in 2020. This is when we saw the beginning of the disenchantment that would ultimately result in these assassination memes. Immediately.
So I highly recommend going and watching this video, because I just assumed Democrats in power, they were the ones who put a lot of those social security, like the Medicaid, things like that. Those policies came in 2020 when Trump was still in power. And I think that's because the Democrats, I don't know if anyone knows this, I think the Democrats had a majority.
Right.
And because their midterms are like in the middle of their presidential terms. So that's how the Senate and the House, someone please correct me if I'm completely wrong. The House and the Senate can flip to a Democrat majority or a Republican majority during a Democrat president or a Republican president. So I think it was the Democratic majority Senate and House that were able to pass a lot of those really progressive things to keep the economy going, keep people alive. The mandates and the social benefits, the social security things, the rent freezes, all that sort of stuff. But what I didn't realize is that Biden was the one pushing for the whole get back to work bullshit. And like, I think I'm very outside of American politics. I kind of get bits and pieces of it. But at that time, I did not realize that. I just assumed Democrat-led president that,
Nah, Biden was.
Yeah.
I mean, again, in like a lot of the times, it feels like the left-leaning party is just a light version of the right-leaning party. Like, they're just usually a little bit softer. Biden obviously had a lot of questionable things in his term. Same way Obama did. Like,
yeah, it's true.
but yeah, it's so yeah. I mean, to be fair, I'm so fucking like chronically addicted to Philip DeFranco. I can't help but consume American content.
Yeah, I guess that just kind of, that went over my head. I guess we were all kind of in our own spaces during the pandemic anyway.
Oh,
We're all dealing with our own
yeah.
government, which is,
I mean,
our own situation. That,
God, yeah.
Didn't really need to look around to get our
Yeah, I mean, there
fixes.
was enough going on here. I totally get that.
So you can kind of see how this relates to Chippy a little bit. Not the meme itself, but the kind of what leads to the memery. This I thought was fascinating. This kind of explains a little bit of class consciousness. Coming into
Now
it.
with even fewer health protections and no meaningful treatments for the brand new, highly transmissible airborne virus that ravages your heart, neurological system, and immune system, and is still spreading at pandemic levels, even today in 2020.
So the Biden administration basically was like, get back to work. We can make it work. Mask mandates. We're fine. Like, keep it going. It's fine. You don't need to hunker down. It'll be fine.
5. Jamie Cohen, a media studies professor at CUNY Queens College, told me, quote, Biden rushed the end of the safety protocols in part because people started to gain a sense of consciousness. Biden and other elite leaders realized the collective power that the public had in 2020, especially online. People were realizing that we too could have the social safety net that many other countries in the world benefit from. And it's a conscious choice by people in power not to let us have it. People on the left and the right also gained clarity about who was really in charge and who controls those levers. But while Biden could force people back to work in
The other thing with there was a bit that came before this, and now I can't remember what it was, but it was also related to this. Why? Oh, yeah, with the pandemic, obviously, a lot of us were online, and those who weren't typically very online were suddenly very online. And where do you
So
go
we
when you're
had-
very online? Social media. And those of us who are like, yeah, social media is just like a daily part of our lives. The boomers all got on there. But also, we were all just kind of in the same situation. We were all in the same boat, and we all kind of had a bit of solidarity between a lot of us, a little bit. Then things derailed, as we are well aware of, and it was, power was used against the people. But I wonder if that has something to do with what this guy's talking about, where it was sort of sown and the seeds were sown by those who saw that people started to have class consciousness, and it was those progressive policies like the rent freezing, like the Medicaid increases, or healthcare insurance, all this sort of stuff. The
stuff with the
school
student
lunch.
loans as well.
Yes,
Student
yes, student
got
loans, school
frozen.
lunch, school lunches for everyone, all of that stuff. America was suddenly going, oh shit, this is great. Like we're being supported, and we can totally do this. And I guess people from both sides were like, shit, yeah, like this is possible. This is the kind of America that we could totally live in. Yeah, fascinating stuff. Didn't really think of it this way, but yeah, class consciousness freaks out capitalism, I guess.
It's because it's dangerous. It is something that can defeat capitalism. Same way they don't want people to be educated or to, I don't know, understand the political system they fucking live in. Like they make things purposely obtuse. Why is the government currently trying to repeal the plain languages bill? Because they don't want us to fucking know what we're doing and how they're fucking us. Also, I saw a comment here that's saying, is she saying there's a deep state controlling things in the US? It's not a deep state. It's called the Atlas Network. They've existed. They started in the 1800s. We've got a video. Go watch the history of the Atlas Network. It's on our clips. It's about a 50-minute video. Yeah, that conspiracy of the 1% or the Illuminati, that's just Atlas Network.
It's not that there's like, yes, that is very much true, the Atlas Network, but it is systemic and that's a lot of criticism now, is that especially the Democrat Party are powered by money, right? They have a lot of people that pay them a lot of money for campaigning to get them to win, who have a lot of money in their pockets and they want to keep their money in their pockets. So the Democrats are in themselves a little bit corrupt, I guess. And they just don't go far enough with stuff, which kind of relates back to the old Chippy. But we'll continue because I think it comes full circle. Go for it. Oh, is that my internet gone or is that yours? No, it's all right. We're good. Don't have notes for this. Let's see what she got to say next.
Charge weren't doing anything about it. By the summer of 2023, you could see this nihilism and anti-elite sentiment creeping out all over the internet. In June 2023, the implosion of the Ocean Gate Titan submarine, piloted by billionaire Stockton Rush on a vanity expedition
Just realized you guys could hear it, but you can't see it. There you go.
to view the Titanic, became an immediate meme. Within minutes of the news breaking, people were joking about imploding billionaires all over TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. People posted with glee about, quote, natural selection. They made playlists joking about it and posted lists of other billionaires they hoped would take a submarine ride. People weren't openly calling for billionaires to be executed yet, but they were certainly celebrating when they died. I would argue that the submarine memes of
which also somewhat reflective of the Trump assassination attempt. There was a little bit of like from people, and it's also reflective of the Mangione and incident as well. The alleged guy, he allegedly murdered. It's alleged, but I think it's alleged because it's not convicted. But yeah, those sentiments were already there. That definitely reverberated where people were like, I mean, the guy was a billionaire and he had the opportunity to do this thing, and I kind of don't care. Like, this is superfluous stuff. You could have done so much more with your money. I think it's that kind of thing of like,
oh yeah.
I mean,
the thing
you
is,
didn't have to go down to the ocean in a dumb fucking what do you call it? Little imploding machine. Imploding machine.
I mean, the thing is, when you're going to hoard wealth and be so selfish that you don't give a shit about the wider community around you, we need other humans to survive. If you're going to be that selfish, don't expect other humans to be sad if you like get hurt and no one was able to help you. Like, there is definitely a bit of like, you have to take accountability for that. If you want to be a capitalistic piece of shit who's just going to sit there and try to squeeze out as much fucking profit as you can. Again, when we had the 2023 elections, Countdown, Woolworths, whatever the fuck you call it, are making $1 million profit every day. And I wouldn't be surprised if that number's gone up, to be honest. We saw how much butter costs. But like, this should not be acceptable. It should not be acceptable that just because they're a company, like, yes, have some profits, but there is a point where you're just hoarding and trying to be like, look how big my number is, and it makes my cock feel really long. Like, stop that shit. It's bullshit. Like, I would much prefer that they would, I don't know, are forced to give certain percentages of their profits back to, community organizations that they fucking operate in. Not just sit there and go, oh, I'm just going to keep collecting all this money by selling you things you need to live and survive on. Like, it's disgusting.
I probably should have put these in like category. This is in order of the video, so like I'm not going between like Chippy's the same as Biden and you just too center, and then we should political assassination. I'm definitely not complaining those two. It's just the order in which the video is. Like these are two different things. I probably should have clipped them together to talk about it. But the next bit comes back to Chippy, which is about disillusionment in voters. And this is kind of what you and I are talking about earlier with Chippy. It's like, you just want to see conviction, you know? Otherwise, this, I think, is where we're heading.
A democracy. Like in normal democracies, you don't have these high numbers. By 2024, a pervasive sense of disillusionment had taken hold. Joe Biden's decision to seek re-election despite widespread concerns about his age and cognitive abilities caused people to question whether our democratic system was really working. His disastrous debate performance and revelations about the Democratic Party's efforts to downplay his mental issues only sowed more distrust. For most of 2024, it felt like we were a nation sleepwalking with no one at the helm. When Trump was shot at a Pennsylvania rally in July of 2024, blood wasn't even dry on his ear before it had become a meme. People bemoaned the fact that he hadn't turned his head even slightly to the side, which would have had deadly consequences. The assassination attempt normalized discourse about Trump's death and fed these overall nihilistic sentiments. Later that summer,
Nihilism, disillusionment. And it's the idea of like the sentiment of sleeping at the wheel. That is where I'm seeing the reflections back to Chippy of like sleeping at the wheel a little bit. That's what I'm feeling, you know? It's I'm seeing the parallels between the Biden campaign, in which they rolled him for Kamala way too late, and he should have given up that position. I'm worried that Labour have kind of in the same position where they may have like chosen the wrong person to lead them through, and they may see a late change, and that may fuck them over, you know? People haven't got time to get to know this person. Unless that person is someone like Barbara Edmonds, who's just going to be like, I'm in. Like,
Yeah.
I'm steamrolling this. Like, I imagine she would be the kind of person that they would put. Or someone like, maybe not Kieran. Like,
I mean,
probably
Duncan?
Barbara. Duncan, I think he
as
could.
well?
I think he could do it. But I think Barbara's got something different, you know?
Oh yeah, no, Barbara's definitely like, for me, she like, I mean, I've seen comments in the chat from earlier, you know, that not only does she like she's very knowledgeable, but she also almost kind of feels like your mum because she feels like she cares. You can tell that she's not just doing this job because it pays a decent fucking wage and she can do stuff to like, you know, better herself. Like she even said when she came on the show, her daughters will be fine. She's not worried about her daughters. She's worried about everyone else's kids. She's worried about those who actually are in need, genuinely struggling. Like we had Aaron come on from Kickback multiple times talking about 9-year-olds who are homeless. Like we should not have homeless children. If their parents are struggling and they can't parent them, we shouldn't just go, oh, well, it was your parents' responsibility, so go get fucked. No, we should actually care that, like, the more we can look after and wrap around our own, like, community and look after each other, we will then have healthier, smarter, better people to just keep going and continuing our society. Like, they've, like, and this is where it just frustrates me because like a lot of that nihilism and all that stuff that is put in there by people like the right, by fucking people like the Atlas Network, so that they make us kind of focus on all these stupid little things rather than being like, we would all be better off if we just all pitched in, like, what was it, something like $5 in extra taxes a week for people who earned like $2,000 a week. $5 and we can have kids with dental care, which like teeth health is something that is so important that so many New Zealanders are lacking because it's so fucking expensive to get help with dentistry, and dentistry is just mad expensive. Like it is so bullshit that like people like us, people like the people in the chat have to come out and start yelling and screaming like, why can't we just all fucking work together? Because we're supposedly doing it already because we're employing these people to make these decisions. Like,
Yeah.
it's all a choice to fuck us over in order to help them create a bigger pile of money so that they feel like their dick is bigger because fucking patriarchy, capitalism, and colonization. Ugh.
Labour have been doing well in the polls. Why is there even talk of rolling? I don't want Labour to do that. I think it's going to look like weak party leadership.
To be fair, there's just been talk about this for a long time.
There has, but I was the one who said, look, they've chosen, we're good, let's back Chippy. I think our issues is that Labour haven't been doing well in the polls. National have just been doing dog shit. And with percentages, when one goes down, one goes up. Well, I suppose you got the don't know, so maybe not. Yeah, I wouldn't say they've been doing well. They're marginal. They're like, yes, they've been going up, which is unheard of or not common for a first term current. They should be in their honeymoon period. Yeah, so I don't want to talk about rolling 100%, but
Yeah.
like if we don't say it and say, Chibi, what the fuck are you doing? Who is gonna like get that in his head, you know?
I might agree with this comment, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't vote for Labour last time because I already was fucked off about the capital gains thing. I think also one point that someone's pointed out is kind of exactly how I kind of feel. I feel like any money after 10 million is an unnecessary pure greed. 10 million calculates to 2K per week for 100 years. If you are that selfish and indulgent that you feel you need that much money to live a comfortable life as a single human being, then I think maybe you need to go to therapy because you're trying to fill a hole that can't be filled with items. And like, especially when we talk about billions, I saw a video that was talking about visual comparisons between millions and billions. Like, we say it like it's nothing, but billions is a fucking gigantic number. Like, it is a huge number that most of us can't actually fully comprehend. Like, the difference between a few million people in New Zealand and billions of people on the planet, it's a big number.
Throwing that in there for because I agree with that. All right, so you've kind of somewhere in there you perfectly segued into the next wee bit. I was going to show a wee clip about the criticism on like the left suddenly kind of being like about like political violence, when basically the right, there's so many examples, the right have done this for so fucking long, so like like calling a spade, calling the kettle black, one of those two. So I'm going to jump in the next bit because you segue really nicely into it. What the hell do we do when we're nihilistic? We those of us who aren't like politically charged, it's, you know, your average people that are just like getting disillusioned. They say, well, you know, Labour didn't help me, National didn't help me. It's very easy to go into individualism and kind of go, well, I don't have the power to help other people. Clearly everything I'm doing, protesting, doing things the right way, voting, is not helping. So in order to survive, I'm going in. I'm going to look after me and my immediate family and make sure that they're safe so that we can survive. And if we can survive, maybe then I can start to help. But she makes a really good point of what we should be doing instead. And it kind of comes back to what you were saying about, you know, we need to rally the people. Have I got the right timestamp? Sure do.
Collective outrage begging for structure. This brings us to the ultimate challenge. How do we transform this bubbling outrage into systems that can survive and resist the slow collapse that we're all living through? This is not something we can vote our way out of. Both political parties have shown their willingness to align with fascism, ignore genocide, and abandon the disabled to mass death. No amount of messaging or getting out the vote will realign a system that views basic survival as a partisan issue. Instead, we have to rebuild what was.
In other words, our entire our world structure societally is based on capitalism. This is what Te Pāti Māori were saying of like that we need, and the Greens as well, but Te Pāti Māori on Tuesday I think it was, where they were saying the same thing of like we are in a system that is so fucked that we need to start from the ground up. You know, we didn't honour Te Tiriti from the beginning of what it should have been, so the system that was put in place, it shouldn't have been the system that was put in place. No. And it's capitalism, which came from the West, and every society in the world now is basically based off a capitalist system. And the capitalist system, it, like she was explaining, as we've talked about before, it props up the wealthy and the wealthy want to keep their wealth, and they're going to continue to keep their wealth. So they're going to pay to make sure that politicians do not enact policies that will hurt them, like capital gains taxes or higher taxes for corporations, that sort of thing. So this is what she's talking about. Like, we need full deconstruction in a completely different system, which is, it's a tall ask.
Briefly visible in 2020, community care, mutual aid, and horizontally organized support systems that bypass state structures and center vulnerable people. And while organizing things like a food drive or Venmoing a friend for groceries is really, really great, what we need most is to design durable, long-term frameworks for collective survival. This means infrastructure, supply chains, legal defense networks, tenant unions, recentering public health. And it means doing all of this while also being honest about the scale of collapse that we're facing. To do any of this, we have to undo the propaganda that told us that individualism is the rational response to state collapse. This means undoing years of propaganda claiming things like masking is a personal choice and not collective care, that solidarity is weakness, or that we need to sacrifice vulnerable groups so the rest of us can live in normalcy. This means
Does that sound familiar?
Yep. I mean, Matiki Maya, we need to fucking change the whole system because it's not just broken. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It was never built for the masses, for the people. It was built to prop up the small percentage of people who realized they could kind of fuck everyone over by manipulating them. That's
I
just
can't
my
remember how long
opinion.
this clip is to go. So
using to normalize mass death, whether it's here or abroad. And it means refusing to throw trans and other vulnerable people under the bus just because a politician told you that that's the price of winning. We're running out of time to do this stuff. If we don't want to wake up in a fully authoritarian state, we have to stop waiting for top-down reform. If we let these memes and moments pass by without building on them, I think we're going to end up in a really bleak place. We're going to witness what usually happens when authoritarianism and oligarchs take power. Most people will accept a slow decline. They'll retreat further into individualism and focus on caring for their immediate family over others and exit the political arena entirely. Authoritarianism rarely takes control through force. It's usually just through resignation. But these memes show how many people do still care. They prove that there is a desire for change, even if it hasn't yet found form. And as we
there was a point I was going to make. Yes, Taylor is talking about the States. Yes, New Zealand is not at this, like, we are not where America is right now. But I'm pretty sure that you heard things in there that are echoing in our current parliament system. You cannot say that X policies, the things that National are doing, aren't very similar. The whole anti-trans bullshit that has been imported from the States.
New Zealand first as well.
New Zealand
We've got to
first,
make sure we put it on all of them.
Yeah, no, yes, but it's the idea that they're gonna slowly. Seymour is a perfect example of this, right? Well, I don't say we joke. We're serious that he's an Atlas plant, but that conspiracy aside, like, he is in our system and he is chipping away. Like, he is a threat to us. RSP is a perfect example, and people just go, meh.
Exactly.
I hope not. Our community doesn't.
Yes.
But if you do go, meh, it can't be that bad. That's the chipping away, and before you know it, we are not going to be too far off from America. I fucking hope not.
I mean, we're starting down the path, like the same way that Craig Rennie, he often talks about how, we're basically an amalgamation of America and the UK's problems because we've got a Tory government. I mean, because again, guess who put the Tory government in place, guys? You're going to guess what I'm going to say? Fucking Atlas. Also, guess who was behind Project 2025 within the last Trump campaign? Fucking Atlas. They're all coming from the same playbook. They've just slightly tweaked it based on the slightly different cultures. And that's why the RSB is so important, because they've realized, oh, this treaty is really in our fucking way. And until we can get past it, there's nothing that we can't continue our plan and get ourselves to the point we're getting these guys. Like, that's why they're coming down for us so hard at the moment. And I think that's also why, especially at BHN, we're trying so hard to build community, because that community is so fucking important. because we actually do have more power. We've just been convinced that we don't. Because, you know, you don't see the money go out of your bank really. You kind of know it does, but it doesn't feel quite real. You don't realize that when Christopher Luxon says, what I'm saying to you is, we're paying for him to fucking say that. He's on our dime when he does that. Like,
Yeah. So I love this video. I highly recommend going and watching it in its fullness, in its full thing, because it goes through the kind of timeline from 2020 onwards, especially if you're a little bit into, you know, the old America system. But what is it? Somebody Needs to Do It by Taylor Lorenz. And it's not just about the somebody needs to do it meme and sentiment. It is very much about that that time and space and a reflection of how we've gotten to where we are. Yeah, but there are things that rang true for me, especially after I'd watched Chippy's interview and kind of just like diving into that and going, damn, I'm like, you're right. He needs to not go down this route. That is what scares me, is that he is not Christopher Luxon by any means. Like, he's genuine. I truly believe that he is genuine in his belief in that, in the social contract and funding healthcare and all of these things, but he is still inside of that capitalist system and still has those sentiments of like, we need to get back into black, like those centrist things that lean more right, that we don't need to, and we shouldn't be leaning on those.
oh, absolutely.
Because it, in my opinion, it emboldens the right, and it legitimizes the right. And it legitimizes those really right-wing things that lead to that authoritarian state, which we're far off, but we're rolling. It emboldens those for the people who are centre-left, right? It normalizes the system that we're in, as opposed to going, we're the centre-left party and we're saying, yeah, this is fucked. This capitalist thing is fucked. I just need him to be like, yeah, we're doing capital gains tax. It is necessary. It is necessary because we need to fund our hospitals. We need to fund your education. We need free ECE. These are things that you need that we can do if we invest in them.
Yeah, if you
That's
want
what I
people
need
to
him
sell
to
your
do.
shit to, how about we make sure they're healthy enough that they can work and they can make, I don't know, afford to give you that money back. Like, we've seen that, you know, poor people stimulate economies. They spend their money, they don't fucking hoard it. And I mean, again, that's if we're working within a capitalist system. A lot of, like, we've been convinced that this system we live in is the best default. It is not the best default. It is an option that was kind of chosen or forced upon some people. And now we're in a point where it's like, this is clearly not working. It's clearly not helping people. It's only making things worse. So, like, let's actually be adults and have scary conversations, because, like, it is scary shit to consider changing the entire framework, because you do have to be mindful of the fact that the framework is crumbling and falling, and we have to think about what's going to, like, be there to pick up the slack. But we still need to talk about the scary shit of, like, things need to change fundamentally. Like, it's no longer really acceptable to keep going with this bullshit status quo that is not human-centered. It's business and money-centered. And I'm sorry, but money is literally a social construct. We just decided that that is how we fucking base everything on in terms of exchange. Like, it's arbitrary. So we can change it. It's just scary and would require a lot of hard work.
I swear we will move on, but I think this is important shit, and we're on a roll. What is the best system you're advocating for, Magenta? I'm gonna jump in instead, and you can chime in afterwards. Just to be a real dick.
No, you go.
I realized walking home one day, I have lots of revelations. My brain is great at connecting the dots. When I'm not asking for any system. I don't want a communist system. I don't want a capitalist system. I don't want a full socialist system. I don't want a full one thing, neoliberal, liberal system. I don't want one. I want all of them. I want the best bits of all of them. We can have a capitalist society, but we can also have capital gains taxes. We can have social advice. You can earn as much as you want. You want your fucking luxury boat, go for it. But I want to make sure everyone's housed first. And if you've got enough to go and buy a luxury boat, go for it. You stimulate a different part of the economy, you go for it. But if your money is not going back, a decent amount of your money that is well beyond what most people ever see is not going back into the system, then the system is fucked. You should also be helping the people at the bottom. Just not even thrive, just survive. Just basic things met. And it's a system of all of them working together. They all work together. But we are heavily leaning in capitalism at the moment. We're drowning in it. And the system we can see the flaws in it now after it's been, 70, 80 plus years since new capitalism. Okay, there's a name I can't
Yeah, I
remember.
don't know the dates
So
of those ones.
I'm not advocating for a different system. I'm advocating for all of the systems to work together. And
Yeah, I
maybe
mean,
that's socialism. I don't know. But
Well, that's the thing
you
is,
gotta pick bits of the best of them, right? You can't have full communism. We've seen what that looks like. It's pretty shit. But there are
Yeah.
policies in there, and there are things in there that I like.
when it comes to specifically named systems as well, I almost feel like in that is also a trap in of its own. Is because we get really safe in being like, okay, well, which one's the best? Honestly, my genuine opinion is we need decentralized systems where it is regionally located, because there are different needs of different people in different areas. So the way that they might want to prioritize, maybe not, we'll have the basic things of like food, clothing, and housing and that kind of thing. But outside of that, how they want to prioritize their money should be up to the people it's being spent on. Like, we should go back to more slightly smaller communal types of ways of thinking. We should have people work together to go like, okay, look, what's this, like, what are our values? What do we actually want to put your money where your mouth is? What are your values, and how are you going to show that through the way that you prioritize that spending? It's not for me to tell people what the best political system is, because I didn't, political science was not my degree, but also I'm just one person in one area. Like, I feel like it's the same way when, like, originally they were trying, before the kingitanga was created, they went around and they were trying to basically be like, who wants to be the king? Who wants to be the king? And most of the leaders were like, it is not for me to decide for every Maori across this motu. We are very diverse and different. We have different needs based on the environment around us. Yes, we will trade and we will have those relationships, but the way that we function should function for us and serve us. And that's where I think that we need to have that. The systems need to be built around the people. And I'm not the person to tell you what that system should be. We should all be having discussions about it. Like, we should be working together and thinking, okay, well, like, how should we be putting pressures, say, on, if we're in our current system, so we do have to work with a bit. How do we put pressure on them to make sure that, like, they're putting our money where we want it to go? The same way we have seen a lot of student unions protesting, like we had one of the protesters on the show, protesting against, like, their unis putting their course related, like, their money, the money they're paying for their education, into Israel. They were like, that does not reflect my values, and I am not okay with this, and we should have a say in how that's done. And it's the same for these bigger things. We should all be having discussions and finding out what would actually be better for all of us. Because we can't say that a wholly Maori system would be thing. We can't say, like, that's not going to be relevant to the indigenous peoples of the Americas. They have their own things. Nor would it be to the indigenous peoples of, like, is it somewhere in Russia? I don't know, it's a big fucking place. But I know there's an indigenous peoples around one of the parts of that massive landmass. No, it's different. I think it's a different one.
There's a lady who has a YouTube channel. I think she's like Top Serbia, whatever it is. I think she's Inuk. I think it is. Yeah, like.
I mean,
I don't know, geography. Yeah.
We all have different
lots of
needs. We
additions.
should all fucking just talk about it and fucking replace this shitty system that's not serving us. That's it.
Well, we can hope. I think it's going to take many, 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 many years for that to happen, decades, if not centuries. But we can most certainly do what we can now. It's never going to be perfect, but we've just got to try and actually start the wheel rolling.
Mm-hmm. We sure do. And actually, speaking of wheels rolling, I've got an exciting website for us that Tanya Waikato dropped.
Ooh.
Yes, friend
So
of the
much
show.
for not having a 90-minute hour.
Nah, real quick. It's not a huge big one. It's more. I've got a little nice story though, if we want one to quickly finish off. But here is the website. It's killtheregulatorystandardsbill.com. And there is a great some great slides from the submissions workshop that has all the information. I saw people in Discord asking about information on how to, make submissions, or even also just how to understand it so that you can talk to, your friends and whānau. Amazing slides. I highly recommend you all go to the site. There's obviously a submission resources about the bill. You can even run a workshop. So great, your number one stop shop basically for everything RSB. So killtheregulatorystandardsbill.com, and I'll chuck that into the chat for everyone. So definitely go have a look at that, because obviously we only have, I don't know how many days we have left now, but not very long.
It'll come around pretty quick.
Yeah, just a small little plug for that.
Right, super chats, and then we'll get through your memes. Your memes.
Hell yeah.
And as I'm enjoying your perspective. It's great. There's a few things I disagree with, but there's some good conversation. I love it. That's what we want. Good discussion, right? Critical analysis. But thank you. I am slowly fading. Maybe I'm just getting more ragey.
Yeah, powered by rage.
Powered by rage. Right. Mr. Arvids for $2 says, Mage, you're so based. This is how I've felt for ages. You've had some bangers. Had some bangers. Andrew K. Sorry, please tell me I'm saying your name incorrectly. Tell me if I am saying your name incorrectly. $10. In his defense, the party is going through, this is Labour, I assume, going through its tax policy. It's a member thing. It's a process. I agree. He can only do so much without the foundational thing. When he gets that, see if he can sell it. That's what I'm saying. But I need that soon. I can't wait till I can't wait a year for the next budget to come out before they start ramping up. I want that ramping up now. Come on. Teeth. Kai Matara, $2. He got tips from Starmer, and it kind of shows, to be honest. I think it's a bit chippy. I think that's I'm assuming. Legend, $2. Late fee was watching the weird AI biopic.
The Weird Al, like Weird Al Yankovic. It's so good. I loved it. It's so dumb. I fucking loved it.
I've heard it was I completely missed it. I need to make sure I seek that out. Kai Matsada, $2 says post 80s Labour curse. Never win with men leading. Interesting. Barbara. Barbara, would you like to be leader? Mr. Harvard's $2. Duncan Webb is a little bit of a dark horse for leader, possibly.
But also Barbara.
But also Barbara. Oh, sorry, I'm going team Barbara. Come on, Chippy, you got this. No choppy, no stoppy Chewie. Honeheke.
Love that.
Honeheke?
Yeah, Honeheke.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just meaning?
That Honeheke, the person?
Yeah, that's what okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah. It's just them agreeing of the no choppy.
Oh,
it's the handshake meme. Yeah,
that's what I thought. And I was like, Honeheke said no choppy, no stoppy.
No, yeah. It's the vibes. It's the vibes. Handshake.
The vibes. Okay, thank you. I'm glad you did it clear it up. Otherwise, I just be like,
all good. That's why I am the meme lord on the channel.
You're the meme lord. I clocked out at some point with the memes. You gotta fill me in. Kai Matata, $5. Have you seen Bishop heckling at a Stan Walker performance today? He's a sellout. Yes. His grandparents were pro-Maori socialists. He's a racist Atlas shill. What?
Yeah, so actually, funnily enough, it's tied to the one positive story we had for the week. So we can talk about it. Basically,
yes, go for it.
He basically, from my understanding, Chippy just was heckling and being rude and basically saying
Chris Bishop?
Yeah, fucking the Bishop of all people. And like we also have to, it's like obviously the end of Aotearoa Music Month. Hence, like that's why there's Stan Walker was performing. So yeah, I mean, it's not really that interesting. It's just Bish just thought he was a cool guy that he would just shit on, one of our greatest Maori artists of our time. But I like this one. Don McGlashan gave Bish a dressing down. That's great. But yeah, it's just, I mean, it's typical. What a fucking surprise. The Bish is a hater and doesn't have good taste in music. Like, but the positive story is good. So we can do that after we finish the chats and memes. Or are we going to do meme then? Yeah, memes.
Memes, positive story, super chats, final memes, or is this the final memes?
Nah, we'll do that. I think that's a good idea. So we got Jordan Rivers with another banger. We got Nikki. Yeah, we've got some Kool-Aid in the back there. The blood on their hands, which I quite like that addition. Also the giant turd that Luxon's about to just clap. It's there's a lot in this image actually. It's great.
Damn.
I love it. I know, right?
Layers.
Right? That's what I thought. If you don't want to be called out on your shit, then don't act shitty. Then this toilet is designated to the biggest shit in New Zealand, David Seymour. Apparently they love David out at Lake Karapiro, which I'm like, oh my God, if only I could go to this. I would so take photos in front of this. But also, maybe, like, I'm not saying people should vandalize stuff, but like if they wanted to put signs like this on other toilets, that would be kind of based. That allegedly in Minecraft. That's all I'm saying. Another great one from the Yeehaw Boys. Yes, we may have taken your laces, zips, hooks, and soles, but we still expect you to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. And isn't that just a fucking perfect example of the way that they treat, like, again, this is the class war, guys. All us minorities and poor people, we've got to band together because guess what? They hate all of us. Also, I love this. Illuminati, Illuminati, Illumahati, Illumathati.
I'm here for it.
I love it. And then we'll go for a few of these. Oh, I made this one. I just found the main meme, and I was like, that fascism head's looking really familiar. Definitely looks like it could belong. I don't know. I thought you might appreciate this one. Just the cure for the male loneliness epidemic. Stop being a douche. Because the guys who do say that, just like, man, maybe just work on yourself. I don't know, get some therapy, love yourself a bit more, and then we'll talk. This one. Hipkins, why are you attacking the Greens and TPM every week? You're supposed to be the leader of the opposition. Yes, but what about the opposition to the opposition? And that is really where I feel like he's putting himself in a bit, unfortunately. Wealthy flee ahead of Greens tax policy? Go on, fuck off and don't come home for Christmas. Like, if they're gonna leave, I'll leave, I guess. The face that Nacks make when Jack Tame or Mihingarangi Forbes ask them a question. I just love this edited version. It's just so good. It's so good.
Their faces need to be smaller things.
Yeah, fair. And then this one, we'll leave this one. Please roll them, roll them, roll them, roll them, roll. I just love this one when I saw it.
Oh, Jesus.
But we'll do one more. Blame Labour. I thought this was a nice edit. Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider?
Yes, but why?
Yes. Oh,
just because?
If she was in a video game, yeah, just funsies.
I just giving her way too much credit. Sorry.
Nah, that's fair. Someone also memed Auntie Debs. Pat, have you got a match? I loved that moment.
She's so funny. She does not hold back.
But she's also just so Maori. Like, I love that just cheeky.
No wonder people hate her.
I know, right? How dare she be so unapologetically Maori?
I know. How dare she? Oh.
Right? Absolute fucking... How dare ya?
No,
anyway, we do have one little small... Where is it? I think I may have... misplaced my link. It's fine though. I should have it. Oh yeah, actually, there was a tiny little thing. I don't know if you heard, but fucking David Seymour called Maria Mino Kapakingi an idiot. I don't know if you heard about that. So David called Maria Mino Kapakingi an idiot in the house.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so now Edu is challenging him to a celebrity boxing match. And he's too drop nuts. He's not going to do it. But how dare he fucking disrespect the auntie? Like, fucking
But she's Maori.
so mad about that. I mean, yeah.
How dare
but
she?
Here we go. We've got... There it is. So I will just share it with you all. Just a small bit of good news for us today. Maori stars shine brighter than ever at Aotearoa Music Awards, breaking into mainstream categories. So with over 20 award categories, Maori artists were named as finalists in nearly all of them. So we had, Stan Walker, Anna Coddington, Jordan with a Y, Hami Tuari Towers, and the Tuari brothers. And it's just amazing to see, obviously, I think somewhere here it says like that basically this is the most, I think it said this is the most like Maori they have in the run. Oh, there it is. Noted this level of Maori representation hasn't been seen since the late 1990s. Which, guess what music was really popular in the 90s? And guess what color people generally were into? I'm just saying. Fucking. But it's just amazing to see because also, like, I know we've all probably started listening to more like Waiata Reo Māori, which is awesome, especially after we saw that song from Stan with Hana in it. Oh man. Oh, that just gets me every time. And like Māori Ki Te Ao was like, I always play that song, like especially at one point whenever I was going to protests, it was always like Heinz Hall, obviously for Palestine, fucking Māori Ki Te Ao, and just a bunch of just amazing Māori music. So yeah, just a nice little thing to see that even though they're coming for our health systems and they're coming for our land systems and just everything that they're trying to take away, like this is the power of the collective. This is the power of Māori when we come together, under kaupapa. I think they've their success is not by chance. They put in a lot of mahi, and there's a lot of just so many creative people who are finally getting appreciated as well. I also love Stan because he's done his reconnection journey. He puts so much into his music, into his videos. It's just very empowering to see that Māori success is still shining even when they're trying to literally cut us out of the fucking constitution. And yeah, you love to see it.
Oh, shoot. Hang on. You ruined it. You ruined it, okay?
What did I do?
I just remembered the last story I was going to talk about. We're not going to talk about this. I'm going to sleep. Okay. It's just because I want to put this on your radar in case you haven't seen it, but I'm sure many of you have. There's I don't know what you fucking call it. He's supposed to be apolitical. It's Charlie Kirk. His whole thing is to be like, what is a woman? What is a woman?
Contrarian.
Yeah, pretty much. He's just a dickhead. This one with him and she's a feminist. She's a woman. She's a great feminist. The only thing I'm a bit annoyed about, and that's just because it's like he's real calm and she's like real fired up and a bit like angsty. I totally get that. I would be like that too. She does an amazing full circle to point out what a woman is. Highly recommend going and seeing it. I don't know don't watch the Charlie Kirk one. Don't give him the views. I'm not sure which of these is the best to watch that's just the video. I think this must be one because I watched it through Hassan's stream.
Nice.
But if you want to see how to defend what is a woman and to defend trans rights, and I guess like generally gender is a spectrum. Highly recommend watching that video because she does a perfect start to end. It just watch it. It's great. If you want some ammo to try and teach people or explain that what is a woman rhetoric essentially to someone, go watch that, and then watch the other ones because the other one's funny. It's just Charlie Kirk getting absolutely dunked on in the UK. So good.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all. I would love to talk about it, but we had many things to talk about.
We've got to finish off anyway. So
Exactly.
Yeah. Although I do just really quickly want to address a chat in here that was talking about the fact that Stan Walker has a white name, colonization. He's singing into the Maori and sounding like Bob Marley. Think about the fact that like Maori people didn't have a lot of people to look up to for a long time. So like, there's layers, bro. But anyway, not a big idea. Just think about it. Anyway, super chat.
All right. Let's rip through these super chats and then last memes, and then we're good for the night. It's been a good show.
Rub it.
The danger of a miss. $5 says, as Labour has decided to do sleepy politics, TPM have managed to change my vote. Yay! See, this is why we platform the cool people who aren't Labour as well. Because there are cool people, and MMP makes it possible. Don't not vote. Find another party to vote for. You have choices. Just don't go to ACT and New Zealand First and National.
So you got two choices if you don't like Labour.
You've got two other choices. And top, if they're still going. But, yeah. Kerry Bird, $5. New Zealand will be cooked if Labour doesn't win the next election. Chippy needs to stop doing this one weird trick. Fighting with the Greens and Party Maori. Yeah. Let's see. Hope you're watching, Chippy. Deja Mouse, $5 says 1 million seconds.
Yep.
Equals 11.5 days. 1 billion seconds equals 31 years. 1 trillion seconds is 31,700 years.
307. Oh yeah, 31,700. Because like that's what I was talking about with the numbers. So when we hear $2.9 billion to landlords, if that was in seconds, that would be over 62 years. No.
Oh shit.
Triple. That would be over 93 years. So that's what I was saying about the way that like our human brains do struggle to actually realize how fucking large these numbers are. Millions, not that big. Billions, fucking big. Trillions, and that's like, think about the trillions that America spends on the military. Like these numbers are a lot bigger than we sometimes, I think, really have an idea of when we're kind of discussing them. So it's just a really good way to kind of put that into perspective. And also putting into perspective the fact that landlords have gotten more money from this current government's tax breaks than all of the money that has been paid out through the Waitangi Tribunal settlement claims. So that's how little Maori have been given for their so-called settlements. Like, again, we just have to keep putting it in perspective so people truly like get the fucking magnitude of some of these numbers and things.
Just while we're on it, okay, this is like, I promise you, okay, we only get 1 day a week. Just leave us be. I do need to say this is a fantastic website. I'll put the thing in the chat. If you haven't seen this also illustrates wealth. I don't know if it's been updated, but this is so fucking good. You ready? You ready, guys?
Let's go.
But you ready? Why can't I scroll? What's going on?
No. You're too poor. Work. You can't even scroll.
Okay, it's not working.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh,
no, hang on. Oh, no, it doesn't work. I wonder if I can do it. Okay, I'm going to do it this way. It goes basically 1,000, and then it goes through the income, then it goes through 1 million, and then it goes through 1 billion, and then it goes, this is the wealth of Jeff Bezos, and this is only 139 billion.
Only?
It is a fantastic website. It hasn't clearly been updated.
Like, that is insane.
This is where we are, guys. This is where we are.
Perspective is very.
Oh yeah, and there's great little things of like these graphs within the graph. Just go. It's great. It's great. It's great visualization. I've loved that website for a long time.
Yes, but
Please
no,
do
thank
update
you
it.
for that chat. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Did we do this one? No, we did do that one.
Yes.
Sorry, it hasn't been
Yes.
unticked.
Yes. This one,
sorry.
Kaimatara. Oh, come on, get out of here.
Hi, there we go. Yeah.
I was gonna hiss at you like I hiss at my cat. I'm tired, man.
Nah,
I was
that's
gonna be
fine.
like, get out of here.
am a bit-
Kaimatara $5 says Hipkins' history of work in multiple oil and gas industries that are members of NZ Initiative influences his bias, in my opinion.
And New Zealand
Tis an
Initiative
opinion.
Atlas.
Is an opinion. Andrew K for $2 says it's pronounced Kai.
Oh, okay. So it's just like interesting.
I missed that. Okay, we're good. Mr. Harvard says Team Barbs.
Hell
we need
yeah.
a Hottie McAnulty equivalent for Barbs.
Nah, let's not
Hey.
sexualize the women. We'll do it in the opposite.
That's
you know?
true.
We're allowed to do
That's
it to
true.
the boys.
That's true. That's true. Legend $2 says, "Oh yeah, y'all hear Elon fell out with Trump? Yes, yes.
Yeah.
The right are eating themselves alive, and it's always
Also,
so fun.
Trump's
That's
falling
all I
out with
believe.
Putin as well. Like he's just falling out with everyone.
Mr. Arvids $2 says Stan's video with Hannah has amazing visuals. I was going to
Yeah,
say
it
was
really
amaze balls,
does.
but it's not what you
There's a lot of history in that video. Definitely recommend.
based Barbs. Yeah.
Also,
I'm sure we can-
my favorite composting billionaires is ethical recycling.
Love that.
Right? All right, let's have our last couple memes. And Ems has to go to bed, guys. You can't spell Aotearoa without te because it makes colonizers cry. Let's focus the support on those that need it most, like private schools. Oh, her getting roasted was beautiful. We protect, we attack, but most importantly, our focus is on NACT. And notice how there's not a white blonde guy in there. Interesting. I know nothing. So good. And then my favorite, just be an opposition leader, attack the Greens, Te Pāti Maori, and help Luxon. Because also, the amount of drawings Kaimatara has been doing, I'm just so impressed. Anyone who can draw is just... And then we got our random memes to end off. Autistic people, Enderman, Minecraft. Enderman and cats hate water. Autistic people and cats bond by existing in the same space. All of them threatened by eye contact. These are facts. I don't make the rules. Just this one. We've got Wake Me Up Before You Go, When September Ends, and Wake Me Up Inside, which is so fucking accurate to his just whole arc. It just chef's kiss. And then to end on a nice thing, they left us ruins. We will plant gardens still, because again, we will work together and we will rebuild from this bullshit they're leaving us with. All right.
I hope we can. But hey, you've got to keep on.
We don't have a choice. It's not even if we can. We don't have a choice. If it gets too far, I'll take one for the team. Someone's got to do it.
Well, I was gonna play out the outro, but I'm not.
Oh,
Is it-
there is one in the assets.
Is
Did
there
you look
now?
inside?
No, because it.
Yeah, that. Or is that an old one? Because I know he's put one in.
Oh no, he sent one to me directly, but Oh, that's why. No, because every time I've used that one, it just stutters and it's really annoying. So
Also, before we press play, last reminder that this is your last chance to get your buffer merch to support Women's Refuge. Every one hoodie is one safe night, and every 2 t-shirts is a safe night as well. They don't have to be buffer t-shirts or buffer hoodies. Also, if you get the Fuck Around Find Out hoodie, you will get a 5-pack of Fuck Around Find Out stickers, which is an RRP of $22.50, and it'll donate a night to the safe to Women's Refuge. So get amongst it. You only have like a day left. There we go.
and if I was really good, I would have just been like, play the credits.
Welcome back to
push aside the temptation to berate. Let's take a note of the corners we stand in. As many points as the hairs on my chinny chin chin. When the news that we're watching is hairy, knowing all the things that we need to be wary of. Like the rich have the hand out for rewards, while the many have to work at what they can afford. And the rest of us ain't paying attention, or maybe have questions we're too worried to mention. Other media is still dwelling on trivial facts, vetting bees from the rice and the mice from the rats, and picking and choosing a warpath to run, linking ourselves with the hill to die on. It's gotta come down to a welcoming vibe, with an A and a self and a higher in mind. All heavily, neither this way or that, and we'll be analyzed by what Chewie and Pat. With the evil in the world trying to mess with your head, and you're sitting on the couch, you're thinking chivalry's dead. Each night, 2 nights, they're gonna sing you to bed. It's big hairy news.
I just realised we got called reprobates by Cybo Goblin. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to say it's a compliment.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know it's been a bit heavy here and there, and we've had many foos, but sometimes we need to have a foo and just get it off our chests. But I hope you'll join us for more foo-foos next Friday at 9 p.m. Otherwise, join Pat and Chewie at 9 p.m. on Monday.
Tuesday, because it is a long weekend. So stay safe. Don't become a public holiday statistic, guys. We know that the roads can be a bit silly. People get a bit loose. So make sure you stay safe this weekend, because we need you back here on Tuesday with the boys. And we've got an extra day next week. Will be Thursday, Friday. They get double bright hairy.
Hey, that's true. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Like Magenta says, stay safe, and we'll see you next Friday and Thursday. Actually, we'll see you next Thursday.
Keep cool to after school, fam.
Johnny.
Akite.